Art One-on-One with Mr. Burgher.
Welcome to Art One-on-One. I'm your pod boss, Nicole Jordan, alongside your professional artist, master educator, and America's favorite art teacher, Mr. Burgher.
I'm here.
You are here
Ready,
and barely moving.
willing, able-bodied,
That's not true.
ready to rock and
You're
roll.
looking like an old man when you're walking around right now. They only seen you. They only saw you sitting down in your chair.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So today we have another one. This is like we can maybe call this the Art One-on-One with Mr. Burgher 2.0.
Can you expand on that?
Nope. I was told not to mention it.
By me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't exactly know what you're talking about right now.
I know you don't.
Okay.
Our television audience also doesn't know. So we'll just move along.
And you're just going to leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I am going to start off with our usual Ask the Art Guides.
Ask the Art Guides, our longest running segment here on Art One-on-One, and it comes to a finale conclusion today.
The last one.
The last card.
Bum bum. And I'm going to butcher the name. Wassily Kandinsky.
Wassily Kandinsky.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how to pronounce his first name either, so... And I'm sure even if I did, I would say it wrong, and somebody would be like,
You always say this, and I don't know why you feel like
because people have opinions.
All right, so I'm going to let you choose what card or what statement we use today.
Yeah, I appreciate having this thrown at me as though I'm the
boss. You should be able to do things on the fly.
There's the life, the work, and the inspiration. I'm going to go with what's really calling to me.
What is your intuition telling you, Michael? Mr. Burgher.
Is the work. Hear music through sight.
Wonderful.
And I've been on a binge lately. I've been binging a little bit.
Oh, you have, yes.
I've been binging content on the famous British jazz singing contemporary Amy Winehouse. I've been listening to a lot of her music. I've been watching documentaries and clips of her work. And God, what a sad story that is. I mean, it absolutely tears my heart apart for her family, but she was so enabled by people around her, and
I know,
to me, it's kind of a tale of, you know what? Look out for people that are around you, and don't let them destroy themselves. Especially, well, I mean, everybody has their talent. I mean, I shouldn't say especially anything, because everybody has a talent, everybody has a gift, everybody has a purpose. And Amy Winehouse's was her music and her ability to write songs and just kind of pour her life experiences into a song. And
I can't stand it. Bothers me so much that you want to act like it wasn't her choice to make those decisions and be influenced by, like...
Lady, I've told you 1,000 dang times.
It drives me crazy. You're saying it again.
What you're saying is untrue, because I have said that it was her choice.
But all you point out is like the blame on whoever it was, the boyfriend or husband, or what was it? That influenced her so terribly.
Well, I think he was a bad influence. I think her dad and her mom enabled her by kind of letting her,
but you
there were people saying, look, this girl needs some medical help, and I don't think she does. Let her go out and make music. and they were there were lots of people in her orbit that were cashing in on her fame and success, and I don't know. There's just a lot of things. I mean,
You see that all the time, though. I mean, you see
but
where
I
like a
don't.
child. Okay, if you let me finish,
I don't see it all the time.
you don't know what I'm going to talk about. If you have a child that comes from pure lack and no guidance and whatever,
Comes
and
from what?
would you just listen for a
What are
minute
you
and let me
saying?
finish?
What word?
Pure lack. Didn't have anything.
That doesn't. I don't know. If when you say pure lack, I don't know what the hell that means.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay, so there's children that have nothing,
right.
no guidance from parents. Maybe their parents are alcoholics or whatever it is, and you see them become these great people
Sure.
because they made the choice they don't want to be like that. In fact, I think we had this discussion the other day.
Right.
But you also have those same people that have amazing parents and money and love and all the things, and then end up being these, addicts or alcohol, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it can go either way.
You're
You
right.
can choose.
Just because you come from a good home doesn't mean you're going to have. You're not going to have substance abuses or whatever. Just because you come from a horrible family situation doesn't mean you're going to become something either. I mean, people can be successful because of their parents, and people can become successful despite their parents. I mean, it definitely goes both ways. But I think, again, like for example, you're like, well, you're looking at these. Who's the other one? Because I used another.
Yeah, I know.
There was another example of another person. You're like, it's always the girls. You're always like feel bad because it's the girls, but it's not always the girls. It's not, because it's not tied to gender. It's tied to that type of person that they are.
No, I mean, the situations that you talked about specifically were those, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it bothers me so much either that you are like so feel sorry for her, and it is a really sad story. Like it does make you sad that she had such talent and like the ability to really change the world with her voice, and then instead she got caught up in some really bad stuff. But I don't know. It's that you can either choose your path and choose to make good choices, or you know and I'm sure there were a lot of factors that influenced why she did what she did.
Yeah.
And I'm not faulting her by any means. I'm just saying you can't blame it on someone else. We are in charge of, I have this conversation with my clients every day. You are in charge of what you think and how you feel. Like that is the truth of the matter. Like, and I struggle with this because
You do.
just like with
You do struggle with this.
Yes, when we disagreed the other day, like I should be able to just like and people don't know this, but you are well, I'm sure they do probably know this a little bit, but you're
Some
very
people know
direct.
this.
Your
direct.
voice is loud and you say
thunderous.
how you feel, and sometimes it's really hard to handle that.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a person that has confidence. And I get that, like sometimes I just can't, it just upsets me. But it's truth. Like I can choose how I feel. I can choose. I mean, speaking of feeling, that's exactly what, like, this superpower that he has, this Kandinsky, and then
Superpower.
well, he said he like, what did he say? He could hear color and see sounds.
Right.
And so, like, the one you chose is actually the one I would
And
have
I
chosen
don't
too.
remember what that's called. It's a thing.
Yeah, there is a term for it.
Where people can, like, they hear colors, like it gives off a certain vibration or something in their eye, and it transcends into the, like, like, I don't know what that is. I know, and the only reason that I know a whole lot of anything, if anything, about it is because of Kandinsky. I've studied him a little bit, but I've also had a student that had this. I had a student that I taught at the high school level
That could hear music.
who no, well, yes, they could hear music, but when he said that he used certain colors, he could hear the color.
Well, hear music through sight is what I was going to
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
which is what the card says.
yeah. And so and he told me what it was, and I think he had another relative that had this like
It's
thing,
yeah.
but which I found it pretty fascinating. And it's somewhat hard to believe, because if you don't experience it yourself, it's like, well, I don't know, like, the instant skeptic. But I mean, who am I to say what they can hear, what they can see? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
Um,
I
so
believe in. Have you ever heard that, like, or not heard? Yeah. Have you ever heard people talk about being able to see like auras or colors around?
yeah, I've heard people talk about that,
And that's very
but I
it's a
mean,
very similar thing. I think it's a very intuitive, like tapping into your sixth senses and
but again, like I don't have that experience. Like I've never seen that or witnessed that or whatever, other than like 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 a heat, like through like a one of those cameras that detects heat.
yeah,
Like I've seen that,
yeah.
but not like aura, not like what somebody would describe as an aura around someone. But again, that doesn't mean
Have you ever had any sixth sense experiences like that?
um, I've had feelings of like something's going to happen
Yeah.
or something has happened, and I knew it before. I knew what had happened before uh, I was told what happened. Does that
Yeah.
make
You've
sense?
been told before you were like have an intuitive.
People have said that. I think that and again, I don't know if that. Sometimes people say things to you, and you don't know whether it's a genuine thing or if they're like trying to get like oh
Take
wow,
advantage of
yeah,
you.
right, like oh wow, you're like you have the ability to see some really great things. You have a really great perception of people. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe I do, and I just don't know how to channel into that part of my
Well, I think
thinking.
that's why, like, getting back to that statement about hear music through sight and like how he could hear color and
Yeah,
see sounds, and he really studied the theory of what like, color means and how it makes people feel.
yeah,
And I think that's why art therapy, like again, we talked about this, but why I think art therapy is so impactful because of the emotion that you can get from art, from music, from I mean, just listening to Amy Winehouse sing like sh she had an
yeah.
amazing
Well, and again, like you listen to certain songs and certain things, and it's just like at certain times of her life when she's clean and when she's healthy and when she's eating and when she's doing all of the things that make her healthy, it's like wow, what a powerful voice, what a beautiful voice. And drugs, alcohol, situations in life, and people taking advantage of her, and people like you know like they didn't think she was good enough until she had $1 billion sitting in the bank, and then oh yeah, no, I changed my mind.
yeah.
I'd like to hang out, and I'll buy all my buddies things, and I'll take care of everybody around me. And then when it gets too difficult because life is getting difficult because of substance abuses and all of those other things, well, never mind. I'm going to take half of your
Yeah.
stuff and run away, or whatever the case might be. I mean,
Was it pretty apparent she was struggling, or did she keep it pretty
no, it was yeah, it was obvious. I mean, there are some clips of her in concert, and it's just like she could. It's like that girl, that sang the national anthem at the at the baseball game,
Yes,
the
yes.
country singer.
Yeah?
She went to rehab. She
Really?
checked. Yeah, like I think it was today as we're recording.
So she's saying that she was
She said I was drunk singing the national anthem. I embarrassed myself, my label, my country. It was horrible. I was a joke, and the only excuse that I have is that I was drunk, and I'm going to put myself in rehab. she's pulled out at several concert dates, and she's gonna go get. And she's won again, like Amy Winehouse, won a bunch of Grammys and awards and accolades in country music and whatnot. And this young girl, you know,
Yeah.
you got a million people around the country watching you sing for 15 minutes, and wow, this could be a really great opportunity, and
But it's like I feel like
it's a lot of pressure.
it is, and some people need oftentimes those rock bottom moments to
Yeah.
figure out like, okay, I need to
Well,
make a change. Like enough is
and when
enough.
I heard that she went into rehab, that's exactly what I thought of. Like, I hope this girl doesn't end up like taking the easy way or taking a shortcut or having people say, "Oh no, it's okay. Like, cut it short, get back out to work, do this, do that." And you can second guess yourself all day long, but I hope she's got the right people around her to keep her, um, to help her get healthy. I mean, if nothing else, I mean, if she doesn't make another music record or whatever she does professionally, who cares? Just as long as she gets the help she needs. Like
Right.
that to me, that's the saddest part of the whole story,
Well, and I think, like you said, having a good support system or the right people around you makes a huge difference.
for sure.
And I think you find out who those people are in times like they're going through. And unfortunately, I think the people that Amy were with were a lot of people that were taking in it to take advantage of her and things like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, but
I mean, and again, I think anytime you have somebody that's getting successful, there are people, like child celebrities whose parents stole all their money, um, or whatever the case might be. I mean, just um, leeches that suck on the blood of the somebody with some talent, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you find out who real people are.
yeah,
They
who your real friends are.
and and hopefully she. Unfortunately, Amy Winehouse didn't have all of those things to be able to say, look, like she didn't have the foresight to see like all these people that
How
were
young was she?
27. Yeah. Well, and there's that, the infamous 27 Club, Kurt Cobain and Janis Joplin and Jim Morrison and Amy Winehouse and the artist that we've talked about before, who's often left off the list, but Jean-Michel Basquiat, who was also a member of the 27 Club, died of a OD'd at 27, and
I just think of like at 27, how much like between 27 and where the age I am now, how much
102.
I'm not the one that can't walk right now after moving. But you just think how much like growth happens during that time. I feel like 27 is so young. I know like
Yeah.
my 20-year-old thinks he's an adult, and when you're 18 you think you can make decisions, but I feel like it gets later and later and later in life where people are I just think there's so much you learn after age 27.
Yeah. And I've got kids around that age, in their 20s, they're booking on their mid 20s, early mid 20s, and yeah, I mean, there's so much life left in them that it's like, wow, you couldn't imagine this being the peak, you know, or the beginning of the downhill.
What
And
age was your like if you had to choose your favorite like age, what would it be?
I don't know.
I think about this a lot, and I don't know what mine would be. Like
I mean, I felt physically really good in my early 20s.
I think for me, mine was probably my senior year in high school,
I
maybe.
mean,
That would probably be my favorite year if I had to choose.
in my early 20s, I was, you know, getting out of wrestling. So, so I was bigger and stronger and all of those things, a little bit healthier. And again, I think that some of that is just getting older and the just the natural process of getting older, but it was those things that I did to punish my body in my early years is probably why, my neck and my back and my
Yeah,
knees are the way they are because of all of the wrestling and all of the
I
physical.
wouldn't change that though, would you? Like
No.
I tortured my body in volleyball and softball, and I mean it was I did rugby for I mean just stupid.
Well,
Like, but I wouldn't, and my body is broken. Like it is I do have like a lot of inflammation on that, but I wouldn't change that for the world.
no, I think that those things helped me formulate who I am, and I think that those life experiences have an impact on who you are, especially in your younger years. And, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't live to appreciate the other side of that,
Yeah.
and, not to go down a big depressing thing.
Well, speaking of things that break down your body, I have been waiting to have a drink of the drink that you made me since you made it.
Mm.
And so I am going to take a drink of my drink, and then you can tell people a
And
little bit about our drink.
right, the drink comes from the book Art Boozle by Jennifer Kroll, and it is a good book that we discovered on a little walk that we were on. Ended up discovering the book. There are recipes that are associated with artists, and today I ended up making the Jenny Holzer.
So we're drinking the Jenny Holzer drink. It is.
If you want to find the recipe or you want more information, go out, find the book. It's available on Amazon and all over the place. Tell them that Mr. Burgher recommended the book, or you heard it here. Contact the publishing company, which is Chronicle Books. You can find them online as well. All kinds of things. Let them know, hey, this guy's got a podcast. He's talking about your book. Let them know that good things are coming from us here. And again, it's kind of an interesting cocktail. It's kind of got a citrusy flavor to it, a little bit Jenny Holzery apparently.
Okay, so basically, this is kind of one of the things we're thinking about using in place of the Ask the Art Guides, because
Right.
we have used our last card, and so
we are going to continue to ask the art guides, maybe in another, I don't know. I don't know exactly how we're going to splice all of these different things together between the what do we call it? The journey into the archives, the book, the this card. We got some other cards that we might also introduce into the thing. So there are lots of different things that we
went a little bit rogue.
Yeah, it's just so every time we present, it might be a little bit different. It might not be the same format every go round. So
I'm excited about that. So I did.
Anyway.
So because we were using Jenny Holzer, I actually chose. We've talked about her in the past and her language art, right?
Yeah.
She's known as a language artist, and
Mm-hmm.
so that I actually used that for my journey into the archives, and
Right.
went back to that video, which was a short but sweet video. She's super interesting. I like her.
She has a very interesting approach to art. It's not really a painting or a drawing, it's language, and it's the presentation of language and the visual presentation of language. And she does this globally, so she's using different global languages in the area that it's appropriate to use that language. So her works are in German in Germany, and English in England, and Spanish in Spain, and so on, so forth.
I think regardless of what language they were in, they're fun to read. I mean, she got pretty controversial, or like she used like political influence in her. Like she said a lot of like influential things, didn't she? Like politically, or that kind of pushed the boundaries of what she really could get away with or should get away
I don't know if she said things politically, but she definitely said things that were a little bit controversial. She had a list of truisms of things that she believed was true, and some of those things would raise eyebrows of people that maybe had a slightly different take on things.
Yeah, and that was a big topic of ours. I don't know, it was a couple months ago. One of her truisms on raising kids the same,
Right.
raising
Raise boys and girls the same. Yeah, we talked about that quite a bit in a previous video, and I've made other
Yep.
content around that as well. So yeah.
The ones like I remembered or I wrote down or that my favorite ones were boredom makes you do crazy things.
Which it does.
And I'm sure this one wouldn't be a popular one. I didn't write it down, but stupid people
shouldn't breed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then this one kind of was like, oh, duh, but your oldest fears are the worst ones. Like thinking about that, I was like, oh, that is, I mean, that's very truthful, but I've never thought of it that way. But the ones you had the longest that you can't get rid of, and like for me, it's tornadoes. I don't know why.
Really? I think my oldest fears have been I've always had a fear of heights, and I've always had a fear of dogs. And I don't know exactly. I mean, I have a pretty good idea on the dogs. I'm not really sure on the heights thing, but I think that those are both fairly common.
Were either of your parents afraid of heights?
I don't recall my mom or dad being particularly afraid of heights, but I also don't recall my mom or my dad climbing up on really tall things. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. I think that there are certain memories that I have, and I tend to be a pretty cautious person. I tend to be
You're wimpy. I mean, the truth is, you are very wimpy. You're easily scared.
I am a very
You're jumpy.
I'm on edge.
And for like this big masculine guy with a masculine voice,
I don't
you
know.
are so wimpy.
I don't know that I'm a big masculine guy with a big masculine voice.
You are. You're a thick guy, and you have a very deep masculine voice. You disagree with that?
I'm not saying my voice isn't masculine, but that has nothing to do with like. I mean, I am. I'm like there are lots of things that like if I'm engaged with something and somebody comes behind me and grabs a hold of me or something, it's like, oh shit. Like I don't like that, you know.
I'm trying to think. Like we were walking somewhere, like I don't know if it's a dog or what it was, but you jumped and like basically hid behind me.
No.
Yes.
It was it was like 2 days ago.
You actually protected me, and not that one that happened 2 days ago. And I was surprised. You actually put me behind you with that dog. But this was like months ago, maybe even a year ago. You jumped behind me.
And I'm petrified of dogs.
I am as well. But that was from an experience. Like I had a dog pin me down on the way home from school, and so
yeah,
I'm.
Cujo gotcha.
Oh, I hated that movie. That and Children of the Corn.
Well, you know, my dad did not like Cujo either. He that was like he would not watch. He did, and again, I don't know if he had an experience with the Saint Bernard or what. I don't know why, but he did not like that movie. Even though I don't remember my dad having a fear of dogs, and I'm sure he grew up with a dog. I don't know. I mean, he lived on a farm. I think they had as I recall, they had a farm dog, but anyway.
I don't know. Okay, well, back to Jenny Holzer. The video that I watched was about 4 years ago, and it was a short video, but I think she would be interesting to dive deeper in. Do you have any longer videos of?
Sure do.
You do?
Which is what we're doing, diving into the archives. You watched the long video.
I just did one. No, I did. That was the long one? It was very short. It wasn't very long.
I mean, it's not like some of my long videos aren't 20 minutes long.
Well, that's what I was asking. I watched what I would consider a shorter video. I asked if you had any in-depth videos on her.
I think that the only video that I have is the only
Jenny Holzer.
4
years ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember how long ago.
Well, I'm telling you how long ago it was.
Okay. 4 years ago then.
Yeah. Well.
So.
What are her most like? any most popular works of hers that
Her truisms. That's her.
just
Yeah.
just in general, the
Mhm.
truisms that she posted, and she took. I mean, she developed. I'm sure you're going to correct me on this, but like where they were broadcasting, like, uh, financial. What's the word I'm looking for? Like financial information or weather information, and she started doing the truisms on boards like that, or like the
Oh,
things
the message
that was really
boards.
her. I mean, she really.
I mean, I don't know that it's like the news, but she would definitely, she had those like message boards that she would make, really long ones where they would be like connected together and they would be synced up so that they would scroll and move around and whatnot. And she'd have rooms, installations that were just rooms filled with the truisms. Yeah, really fascinating way to present language.
Well, in art, I mean, I don't think of language as an art, but then when you think about it in this respect, it definitely is a form of
Right.
art.
Well, I think it's all in the presentation. It's a bit Marcel Duchamp in that art oftentimes depends upon context. You know, this thing right here in this context is not art. But if you put it in a different context, in a different place, in a different environment, in a different presentation, then it becomes or a part of art. Just like the words themselves aren't art, but when you present them in a certain way, they become art. Um, you know, and I think that's true of lots of things. You know, a canvas at the art supply store isn't necessarily art. It's just a canvas at an art supply store. But when the artist takes that and manipulates it and morphs it and adds to it and creates on it, then it becomes art. You know.
Yeah, I remember having this discussion with you, and I think I feel a little different about it now, but like what is life? And you're like, life is art. Didn't you say that to
I
me?
did.
And I was like, but the more I think about it,
The
I'm
more
not
you
saying
know
you're
I'm
right.
right.
No, I'm not saying you're
Yes, you are.
right, but I think that I think of art and like making a drink, like that's an art, like putting together certain flavors and whatever to, I mean, it's an art. So there's definitely a lot of different forms of art that I wasn't aware of before that I am much more aware of now.
Right.
Language being one of them.
Well, and again, I think it's context. You know, you have sauces and syrups and flavors and things like that, and you can just have them sit on a shelf in a bottle. But it's not until you take so many ounces of this one and so many ounces of that one, and you mix them together with these things and those things, and you create this elaborate elixir, and then all of a sudden, poof, out comes something a little bit fancier or more unique. And you can do that with all kinds of things, whether you're talking about food or drink or art or music or anything. I mean, you know, a piano's a piano. You can bang on the keys all day long, but it takes somebody like an Amy Winehouse to sing over the top of it to make it a little bit more exciting than just slamming your hand on a piano. What do I know? I color for a living. You can feel free to purchase Mr. Burgher type designs at redbubble.com, like this image of one of my former students that had purchased a shirt, sent that to me. So feel free to go out and do those things and make sure that you are buying the official stuff from Mr. Burgher at Redbubble.
Well, anything else that you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
Well, you know, just I guess just to make sure, like for folks, I mean, if they have inputs, if they have an opinion on the direction they like a segment over another, or they want to add a question or whatever, you know, put that down in the comments. I mean, I check those things all the time, and so if you have comments, questions, concerns, input on the direction that we're going with the channel in a general way, let us know, and or let me know, or let you know, and we will, you know, certainly listen to all of the input that's coming our direction, because you know there are lots of interesting things out there. Everybody's got a different take on it, and We're just trying to make it all work.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Please continue to hit like, share, subscribe, support us in any way that you can. And until next time.
Turn the lights out.
Yeah.
The party's over.
You haven't said that for a while.
I know.
I was hoping you forgot about it.
No. See ya.